This is section 4, which is all about playing a hand, and lesson 4 is all about playing the turn. So playing the turn. So when you play the turn, you got to ask yourself a few questions such as, what is your opponent thinking of this card? Do you think it helps them based on what they did on the flop? Does your opponent think this card may have helped you? And is this card scarier for you or for your opponent? So you always want to be questioning everything that's going on in the poker table, and that's what makes good poker players, and you really want to be watching how your opponents react and how they look at specific cards and what possible hands they could have, because if you know what your opponents are playing with, it becomes very easy to play the game. So if you're acting first on the turn, you're confident and you are confident that you have the winning hand, then you should really make a decent sized bet and you should really start trying to get as much equity and value out of the pot as you can. If you know that you have a losing hand, your plan of action is going to be to fold to any action that comes your way. So especially if you're acting first, you probably just want to check if you know that your opponent's got you beat. If you have a drawing hand and a bet here may seem suspicious, it might be best for you to check and see if your opponent's bet and how much they end up betting. So you really want to be careful with drawing hands because you don't want to end up betting and then get raised over the top where they've made a hand and you're really screwed and you end up losing a lot of money and having to fold. And then if you're not sure if you're going to win or lose, just check and hope that you can get a free card and see what the river can do for you. If you're acting last on the turn and you're confident that you have a winning hand, you should wait to see what your opponent does before betting, calling, or re-raising depending on the strength of your hand. If you know that you have a losing hand, you'll fold to any action unless you really think that a bluff will work, especially after your opponent checks to you. If you have a drawing hand, I would check if I did not end up betting the flop. If I did end up betting the flop and the opponent checked, then in that case I would bet. And lastly, if you aren't sure if you're going to win or not, I would just check and see what happens on the river to play it safe because you do have one more card and that one card may potentially push you just over the edge to potentially win the hand or you still might lose. So it's a great thing to just kind of take a look at and glance at. That's it for this section, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.